Every NBA champion, critics love to make excuses, discount the team's greatness, downgrade their efforts, but every season, only one team comes out on top. But to get to the mountain, other foes deal with pain, injuries, suspensions, making the path for the eventual champions easier to win it all. Not everybody will be satisfied with every NBA championship team. Endless nonsense debates that lives on, the foolish arguments, oh you only won cause this guy got hurt from another good team, or the refs bailed you out from winning in controversial ways in a long series. If the games pass, results will live on. The present is when every little thing counts. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. There will never be a champion that won in the most perfect imaginable way, where every good player on all the opposing teams were fully healthy. That's almost never realistic after a long regular season. Last couple years, the biggest asterisk in regarding the 2022 Golden State Warriors, Ja Morant getting hurt, missing half the series, a nail-biter game 4 with Memphis self-destructing down the stretch with Dillon Brooks. Memphis gave Golden State just as much problems without Morant as Boston. 2021, Durant's foot game 7, a banged-up Nets team with no Lip Harden and injured Irving allowed the Bucks to prevail by the skin of their teeth. 2020 bubble, once-in-a-century outcome where the whole world was impacted. And of course 2019, Durant's injury along with Clay breaking down allowed Toronto to survive Golden State. But today, let's take a look at 10 of the most undisputed NBA champions, well deserved, without any asterisks, starting with the 1977 Portland Trail Blazers. The biggest asterisk involved after the crazy incident of Game 2 of Philly on its way taking a commanding 2-0 lead, the turning point of the series. In a 96-76 lead, Daryl Dawkins a hard foul on Bobby Gross, resulting in Dawkins accidentally punching teammate Doug Collins in the face, who needed stitches. Maurice Lucas then punches Dawkins from behind, both squared up, ejected, no suspensions from either side, so not an asterisk. The turning point, the Sixers lost their chemistry after the incident in the locker room, lit a fire for the underdog Blazers, who took the next 4 games, the first season where both the NBA and ABA merged, so the very best guys were all in the NBA, giving every team a fair shot at competing for the title. First year head coach Dr. Jack Ramsey, plus a healthy Bill Walton for the postseason. The 25-year-old sensations in the top 75 for his dominating presence in a short time, helping Portland win his first ever title. The franchise still hasn't won anything 46 years and counting. The defensive domination and intelligence made his teammate better. A motivated Lucas dropped 27 in Game 3, beat out Philly again in Game 4 by 32. Blazer Mania, an epic time for the city. The momentum carried on, well-earned title, also swept Kareem's Lakers in the conference finals and David Thompson's Nuggets in the semis. No flukes about this one. The 1980 Los Angeles Lakers, landing the #1 pick Magic Johnson when you already have the best player in the game's almost not fair. If anything, if the Sixers would have won this series, it would have been one of the biggest asterisks all time. Game 5 tied 2-2 at the Forum. Kareem badly sprained his ankle after hitting a shot, limped horribly, but still managed to play 41 minutes, a 40-point, 15-rebound, 4-block masterpiece. The asterisk should have been Magic winning Finals MVP. Jabbar did not travel on the road to Game 6 through 5 games. Magic's numbers of 17.5 points, 10.5 boards, 9 assists, an absolute stellar performance, but Kareem averages of over 33 and 14, 4.5 blocks. Combined with the more difficult travel logistics back in the day, LA kept him home to avoid 2 long flights back and forth. Everybody assumed the Sixers would win Game 6, but the 20-year-old Magic, a sensational masterpiece of 42, 15, and 7, dominated from start to finish, comes out to play center, rips the heart out of the Sixers, leaving no doubt who the better team was and how he got it done without the captain. The 1984 Boston Celtics, biggest asterisk involved Magic Johnson turning into Tragic Johnson. His most embarrassing series, most critique for melting under pressure, uncharacteristic-like, while LA appeared to be the more talented team, from the worthy costly turnover that would have likely put LA up 2-0, to Magic running the game clock, to Boston surviving, also Johnson having a costly turnover Game 4, to the 2 missed free throws. At the end of the day, a superstar choking under pressure doesn't make the winner from the other team an asterisk. Due to Magic's incompetency, the finals became super tested in Game 5. Boston proved to be the tougher team, 100 degrees weather, no AC. Larry Bird proved to be better and tougher than anybody else. Celtics won that series fair and square, although the Lakers could have easily swept Boston. If Magic avoided those tiny tiny mistakes, combined with burst energy calling out his team after the Game 3 loss, made the C's tougher, the turning point of that series. The following year, the Lakers didn't win it so consensually, although they beat Boston in 6. A month before the finals rematch, Larry Bird got into a fight at a bar. Bartender claimed he was sucker punched by Bird. As Larry played subpar in the finals, averaged under 24 and 9, 45% shooting, Kareem outplayed him. Bird not his normal self. Boston might have won it if it wasn't for that incident. 1986 Boston Celtics, none whatsoever. If Michael Jordan disguised as God dropped 63 and still couldn't win a playoff game at Boston Garden, no other team was going to beat prime Bird, prime McHale, prime Parrish on their home floor. Backcourt weapons of Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, with 6 men, a rare healthy Bill Walton off the bench, went 11-1 in the East playoffs before beating the surprising finals opponent of the Twin Tower Rockets, too young and lacked experience. Boston's prime bigs overwhelmed Sampson and Hakeem, both outplayed by prime McHale and prime Bird. John Lucas, being waived in March due to a failed drug test, nearly averaged 16 points, 9 assists, but still wouldn't have mattered. The Celtics left no doubt who the best team was in '86, always in the discussion as greatest team all time. The 1993 Chicago Bulls, clearly the dynasty of the 90s, unstoppable in both 91 and 92. The first title, the injuries to James Worthy and Byron Scott each missed the closeout game. Scott ineffective all series. Bulls still would have won that series regardless, given they were already up 3-1. That was a very small asterisk. While in 92, international superstar Arvydas Sabonis might have been a top 10 player in the world, but not in the NBA yet, played his prime at Real Madrid instead of Portland, who drafted him in 86. Given those Blazers teams were contenders without him, Portland might have beaten Jordan if Sabonis was there, while the 93 Bulls left no doubt who the better team was and who had the better player. Jordan Game 1 in Phoenix, the Suns played nervous, Bulls led by 14 after 1, won the game by 8. Barkley missed 16 of 25 shots, while Jordan had 31, his worst performance those finals. Although Barkley had an excellent Game 2 of 42, Jordan matched him point for point. The Bulls' 3-point win. Charles also dealt with an elbow injury, but the series was all but over after a 2-0 Bulls lead. Although Charles' sons shown resiliency, being fearful of Jordan's presence. Phoenix left John Paxson open in Game 6, nailing the dagger, which still gives the fanbase nightmares to this day, a sweet three-peat for MJ. The 1996 Chicago Bulls, too bad George Karl didn't want his best player to guard MJ the first 3 games of that series, after Chicago went up 3-0 before Seattle started to play much better, a defensive-minded series. 4 of the 5 players in the finals all defensive first team, slow pace, Peyton dealt with a torn calf muscle, 20 minutes a game, reserve Nate McMillan wasn't available for 2 games, defenses got away with much more back in those days, greatest defensive point guard all time, in fact did contain the greatest player all time, holding MJ to under 24 points a game, under 37% shooting the last 3 games, after Jordan averaging over 32. The first 15 postseason games, the worst mistake by Coach Karl looking to prioritize offense, but Peyton struggled due to the Bulls being the best defensive team in the league. GP's quickness, strength compared with his size and speed allowed Seattle to get more aggressive, while Jordan's teammate Pippen had the opportunity to step up but struggled, averaged less than 16 points, 34% from the field. These 96 Sonics played the best defense on Jordan and Pippen as any other team ever did, but struggled scoring themselves against the Bulls' length. Jordan an ugly 5 of 19 Game 6, but Seattle limited to 75 points, 5 of 24 from deep. Rodman a rebounding animal with 19 in the final game, including 11 offensive. At the end of the day, the Bulls still won in a convincing 6-game series. The Rodman signing proved to be the difference maker. The 2001 Los Angeles Lakers, the best Kobe and Shaq played as a duo. All 4 teams they beaten won 50+ games, including 8 straight to finish off the regular season, won his first 11 in the playoffs, giving them a 19-game win streak, ran over the Blazers round 1, a team they nearly lost to the previous year after somewhat of a controversial Game 7. While 01 Kobe and Shaq clicked on all cylinders, both took turns dominating, swept the 55-win Kings with Kobe averaging 35, O'Neal over 33 and 17, swept number 1 seed Duncan Spurs, Kobe over 33 a game, O'Neal 27. After Philly stunned LA, led by Iverson's miraculous 48 Game 1 in an OT win, Philly only down 3 with 2:15 left of Game 2. Iverson went 0-4 from the line that game. Sixers down 1 with under 2 minutes left of Game 3. Although Philly came close, they were never truly gonna beat the Lakers in those finals. Even if they would have went up 2-0 or 2-1, Kobe and Shaq just too unstoppable. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks, led by the brilliance of Dirk Nowitzki at the height of his powers, the excuse about how bad LeBron played, the Mavs played a lot of zone, everybody clicked at the right time, lots of perimeter shooting with defensive presence Tyson Chandler. Nowitzki wasn't even 100% in the finals, having the flu and still won. The roster of Sean Marion, Jason Kidd, Chandler, and Stojakovic constructed from past playoff rivals, many written off the Mavs, even picked Portland to beat them in round 1. Nowitzki and Terry combined with all the role players lit the Lakers up from the perimeter. Stojakovic got his revenge from what happened in 2002, Jason Kidd's revenge from the 02 finals, team ball and threes caused LA's demise. Dirk balled out of his mind against OKC, showing the experience and clutchness, got revenge over Wade from the 06 finals. The title secured Nowitzki's legacy as one of the all-time greats, emphasized the importance of a 7-footer having the ability to shoot the 3 and erase his playoff choking reputation in past postseasons. The 2013 Miami Heat, surprisingly, this is not an asterisk. The Spurs were healthy, just a bunch of unclutched moments and poor coaching decision by Pop benching Duncan on defense, leading to the improbable Bosh offensive rebound, Ray Allen Game 6 bomb that changed everything. Two of the very best teams, San Antonio a better bench and team chemistry. Miami relied on the superpowers of James, the talent of Wade, and Bosh being the third option, with shooters to complement LeBron's game. Both teams healthy, there were no bad calls by the refs that decided the outcome of that game. One minor controversial stoppage from Joey Crawford after Allen's 3, wanted to make sure to review it was indeed a 3 before continuation for the Spurs, a reasonable decision, a championship well earned for Miami, overcoming all obstacles, combined with bad decisions on the Spurs' part, plus Tim Duncan's missed bunny in Game 7 led to the redemption of the 2014 San Antonio Spurs, who blasted Miami last 3 games non-competitively. From asserting Boris Diaw to the starting lineup led to offensive mastery, ball movement at its finest, outside shooting, everybody got a share of the pie. Many made excuses for Wade being banged up. While he was a little older and less explosive, the big 3 still played solid against Indiana, but the bench of Birdman, Rashad Lewis, Haslam, Allen, and Battier too old. The AC malfunction Game 1 forced LeBron having cramps, played 5 minutes in the 4th. Then San Antonio went on a massive run, a power failure, but every other player appeared fine. Miami also did indeed end up winning Game 2. If the Spurs lost Game 1, they would have likely rebounded and won the next game, but winning Games 3, 4, and 5 in a no contest showdown, no ifs and buts about San Antonio demolishing the Heat on all levels, some of the best basketball to have ever been played. Honorable mentions includes the 1959 to 1966 Boston Celtics, with the exception to 65 due to Elgin Baylor being injured for the finals and West being a one-man show. Despite having 8 to 9 teams back in those days, it was a lot harder to make the NBA. Given the limited amount of players and roster spots, many wouldn't include these undisputed champs. There also wasn't any ABA until 1967 to argue with. The Celtics dynasty prevailed in every clutch Game 7 moment you can imagine, led by the 11-time champion, the late great Bill Russell. Thank you so much for watching this video. Which one of these was the most undisputed NBA champions all time in your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you. See you next time.